hello. There we go. All right. We will call the meeting order for the Board of County Commissioners for Douglas County, Nebraska for Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Please note that a copy of the Open Meetings Act is located on the north wall of the Legislative Chamber alongside an automatic external defibrillator. Please stand for the pledge. All right, our first order of business is the Douglas County Board of Equalization. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Borgeson. Commissioner Kavanaugh is absent. Commissioner Fahey. Commissioner Friend. Commissioner Morgan. Here. Commissioner Rogers. Mr. Chair.
Here. First item of business are items A and B. A being the approval of the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held Tuesday, January 27th, 2026, and B being a call for a meeting and set Tuesday, February 10th, 2026, as date of hearing on certified assessment corrections reflecting the addition of omitted property to the tax rolls or increased value on property. Do I have a motion and a second for both? Motion by Morgan, second by Rogers. Please vote.
And Commissioners, we are able to use a machine today to vote.
Great.
Oh, it's not letting you. Okay. Yeah, let's try that. Oh, I don't know if mid-vote it might not let you. So you're voting yes, though? Okay. Motion passes 6-0. Commissioner Borgeson is voting yes.
Thank you. Next, we do have one protest item, item C, protest of penalty for personal property taxes for Ameritex Services at the address listed on the final agenda. I will toss it to Assessor Goodwillie.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Goodwillie, Douglas County Assessor, Register of Deeds Office. Let me start with a couple of general items. First of all, personal property taxes are self-reported. There is no master list of businesses in Douglas County or the city of Omaha for us to compare our filers list. And what that means is periodically our staff has to go canvass the field for businesses that we don't have in our system. And that's what happened with Ameritex. And our staff found that business in late 24, early 25. And when we find a business that isn't in the system, we do provide them a sort of new business welcome to Douglas County. Be advised that there's a May 1 personal property return filing deadline. Kim, could you help me with this? Okay, so. Okay, how do we focus this a little bit down? Ratchet it back. There we go. Okay. And in pertinent part, in the second paragraph, we remind them that they need to file a business personal property return on or before May 1st. So we sent that letter out, we put them in the system, and lo and behold, May 1 comes and goes, and now we're into May and June and July and August, and we haven't seen a return from these folks. So when that happens, we prepare a penalty assessment that we send out, putting them on notice that you didn't file, and here's an estimate of what we think your business equipment is, and there's also a penalty. When we send penalty assessments out, the idea is to at least get the business to file a return. And they did in this case at the end of September. Because it was after July 1st, there's a mandatory statutory penalty of 25% of the taxes due. And someone can protest that penalty, but the relief is limited to penalties wrongly applied or incorrectly calculated. And this taxpayer filed a protest alleging neither of those things on December 29th. But I do want to address a couple of things in the protest. First, the protest claims there was no notice that a return needed to be filed. Well, plainly, that's not true. Okay? Second, it turns out Ameritex is actually owned by a company called Ecotax, which is a corporation headquartered in Vancouver, BC, that has 12 locations across the U.S. and Canada. In our experience, generally multinational corporations don't need babysitting. They've got their own corporate tax department, or at least they have access to accountants who can get them current in the jurisdictions where they do business. As it turns out, they have a second location in Grand Island, Hall County, Nebraska. The other assertion that isn't true in the protest is that they have never previously had a failure to file the appropriate tax returns. I don't know what they're doing with their other tax programs, but it looked like from the return they did file late in 25 that they had put property in service in Douglas County in 22 and 23 and 24, meaning they should have been filing for those years as well. And so then I reached out to the Hall County assessor, because sometimes corporations that have more than one location file everything in one and don't file in the other. And I just wanted to see if that was a possibility. It turns out they've never filed anything in Hall County for that location either. So the two assertions in the protest, that they never had any notice that they needed to file, and that their record of tax filing is stellar, at least with respect to personal property taxes, neither of those things are true. So at this point, I would advocate that you deny the protest.
Thank you, Assessor Goodwillie. Was there anybody in the public or from the company that was here?
When we got the protest, I reached out by phone to the controller, the CFO of Ecotex in Vancouver, left a message. To date, I've not gotten a return phone call.
Got it. Any other comments or questions on this item from board or public? Otherwise, what is the will of the board? Okay. So the motion is to essentially uphold the penalty that is being suggested by the assessor's office. Does that accurately state your intention, Commissioner Fahey, to uphold the penalty?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, very good. That motion was by Fahey, second by Rogers, or by Friend, my apologies. Any further questions? Otherwise, we'll vote.
Okay, Commissioners, after this, we'll just do a voice vote because Commissioner Borgeson's card is not working this morning. But are you voting yes, Commissioner Borgeson? Okay, motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Assessor. All right, next we have our resolutions, items D through I, which we can take in block plus adjournment if desired. Motion to approve D through I plus adjourn by Rogers, second by Morgan. Questions or comments on any of the resolutions under equalization? Seeing none, we'll vote.
Commissioner Borgeson. Yes. Commissioner Fahey. Yes. Commissioner Friend. Commissioner Morgan. Yes. Commissioner Rogers. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. That adjourns equalization. We'll jump into Board of Commissioners. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Borgeson. Commissioner Kavanaugh is absent. Commissioner Fahey. Commissioner Friend. Commissioner Morgan. Yes. Commissioner Rogers. Yes. Mr. Chair.
Here. All right. First item of business are items A and B under Section 1. A being the approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held Tuesday, January 27, 2026, and B being the approval of claims submitted for payment process through Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026. Do I have a motion and a second for both? So moved. Motion by Morgan, second by Rogers. Please vote.
Commissioner Borgeson. Yes. Commissioner Fahey. Yes. Commissioner Friend. Yes. Commissioner Morgan. Yes. Commissioner Rogers. Yes. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Next, we have our consent agenda, items A through F. Do I have a motion and second for discussion? Second. Motion to approve by Rogers, second by Morgan. Comments or questions on any consent agenda item by board or public? If not, we'll vote.
Commissioner Fahey. Yes. Sorry. Commissioner Borgeson. Commissioner Fred. Yes. Commissioner Morgan. Yes. Commissioner Rogers. Yes. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. We're going to jump to section 5, recognitions and proclamations. We have 2 county employees, both of which I believe are from public property departments. First, we have Samuel R. Johnson Sr., who has worked for public property for 25 years. And we also have Thomas Warzarek, apologies if I mispronounced that, who worked for public property for 30 years. And I don't think either one is here today, but we want to acknowledge their service to the citizens of Douglas County and their long tenures in county government, and pass these resolutions, which we can take together. Motion to approve A and B by Borgeson, second by Rogers. Let's go ahead and vote.
Commissioner Borgeson, Commissioner Fahey, Commissioner Friend, Commissioner Morgan, Commissioner Rogers. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Next, we'll go into our presentations under section 6. We have one today, introduction of our new Douglas County Election Commissioner, Danielle Jensen. So I'll call her up.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'll wait till everybody gets seated with me, my little band here. I'm Danielle Jensen, the Douglas County Election Commissioner. Chairman Garcia, thank you so much for inviting me to come down and introduce myself to everybody. I know most of you and I don't think I've met you yet, Commissioner Fahey, but looking forward to speaking with you. Joining me today is our Chief Deputy Election Commissioner, Chris Carithers, and our election managers, Justine Kessler and Brandon Olson. My term officially started on January 10th, so I've got just a little bit under a month on the job. But I've been learning a lot from our staff, who has an amazing combined years of 180 years of experience. They're very knowledgeable and are bringing me up to speed on a lot of things. A lot of people ask, why did I want to be the Douglas County Election Commissioner? And I always talk about what it was like for me to register to vote. When I was a senior in high school, the law had just changed to allow 17-year-olds to register to vote if they were going to turn 18 on or before general election date. So they did a big push that year and registered senior classes all at one time. So they came to my high school, we registered as a class together, and my dad even told me, I remember when you came home and you were so excited that you were registered to vote, because I knew that my vote mattered and that I can make an impact on my community. Because of that, and because of my work in state government with legislation, and also my work in federal government and public sector, I thought that my experiences would lend well to this position. The role of the election commissioner is to instill public trust, ensuring that elections are administered in a secure and accurate manner. I pledge to continue the transparency that former Commissioner Cruz displayed while he was in office. I know at one time he invited KETV to come down and allow them to tape the processes they take with early voting, and will continue to do things just like that so that the public feels secure in what we are doing. As I said, I'm learning so much from our staff. I've been able to sit in with them and learn their processes. When we had the Valley election, I got to sit in and help determine if a signature actually matched a card, and we had determined that it had not. So I got to see that in person, that yes, this is happening. I did want to also mention to you the detail they take in setting up our precincts. I even observed one of our staffers making bundles of highlighters, like counting the bundles of highlighters and making sure that we have enough for our 234 precincts. To me, it was just amazing that it's such little minute details that they're looking at. So looking forward to going through all of that with them. I also want to mention some important dates upcoming for our May 12th primary election. February 4th, our green early voting request list postcards will be mailed. Those are people who have asked to be on the list to receive this postcard. It doesn't mean that they get the ballot. They actually have to fill it out and return it to get that early voting ballot. February 17th is deadline for incumbents to file for office, and March 2nd is the deadline for non-incumbents to file for office. April 6th is the first day ballots may be mailed and that agents may pick up ballots. An agent is somebody who can pick up 2 ballots, for 2 individual voters, but only 2, and help them facilitate and getting those turned in. April 13th is the first day of in-person early voting, and there's some voter registration deadlines towards the end of April, but we do encourage everybody to take care of any changes they may have as soon as possible so that we can get rolling into the primary election and get set up for that. I want to thank you all also for your support in securing our additional space. We are working with Public Properties right now to finalize those floor plans, and those should be done soon. We will be increasing our stations for in-person early voting from 9 to around 14. We're also going to improve access for ADA. We will have a separate entrance for ADA and then also a separate entrance and exit for the rest of the area instead of having to go through one set of doors for everything. We will have 2 ADA counters and a separate ADA room for early voting. I want to also just thank you for the support over the years. I remember hearing about, the old election commission where people are sitting underneath tables doing their work. So now we have a great working space so that we're able to ensure that everything is done properly by the law and that everything is secure. I also want to let you know that I will be fighting a Tuesday. I'm going to stop by and meet with each of you, talk to you about in particular, if you have questions about what we're doing, find out from you what you're working on. We do have some legislation over the next couple of weeks. I'm traveling to Lincoln to discuss with state senators and such and express our concerns. So we will be in touch, and I look forward to answering any questions that you have that I can answer. Otherwise, I'm going to ask the 3 wonderful people behind me to help. So thank you very much.
Thanks so much for coming today, and again, congrats on your appointments.
Thank
I
you.
will toss it to board for any questions or comments, and public as well. Coach Borgerson?
I just want to welcome you again, Danielle. And you mentioned that there was some legislation, and if you could have somebody tag those for us so
Yeah.
we could read those as well and then get your opinion on them, because a lot of times the senators will call and ask what, and it's good to hear from the actual office holder what those do or don't do, good or bad.
Absolutely,
for
I'll get that.
counties.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
get that information and send it to you. We have had some requests for fiscal notes, so I've been working with your office on those too. So
Okay, great, thanks.
Uh-huh.
And welcome, glad to have you.
thank you, and thank you for your wonderful remarks at the swearing in,
Oh, I was happy. to
and
be
and
there.
thank you, Clerk Esch, for the wonderful. He swore at me, so just kidding.
It was a good swear, though.
Yeah, he did great.
Let me go to Fahey, then Rogers.
I have not had the privilege of meeting you, and I was going to say this to you privately after things, but then I thought, well, I might as well just say it now, which was that your reputation precedes you, and I can honestly say that in hearing about you from people, and your service across the aisle, I didn't hear one bad thing, which, considering your extensive resume, is pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Not a claim to which I share. I think if you asked around, you'd hear a lot of bad things about me. So I found that really heartening, really excited to have you on board and welcome. And, every commissioner has their own leadership style. But one thing I'd say that I failed to tell your predecessor was one thing I really appreciated about him was the way he, valued and recognized his team. And you're already well on your way in that regard. So welcome aboard. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We'll go to Commissioner Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to reiterate the welcome. We had a chance to kind of talk through email, but I enjoy working with you at your previous employer, and I hope that continues. And I just want to stress the importance of that office, of all of the questions that I got in my tenure here. That office has been one of the ones in the district that continues to warrant awareness and continue to update, and your staff's been good in that, and I just look forward to continuing that relationship.
Thank you.
Anybody from public?
Morning, Larry Storr, 5015 Lafayette Avenue, Omaha 68132. I'm here today to represent we the people. As you can notice, I'm wearing a hat for the celebration of our 250th anniversary of the Republic, not a democracy. I did a lot of studying over the years, still do. I believe in the Founding Fathers. Basically, that this body here is where the citizens can affect our government. That's what it was designed for, direct contact with our government. Not going to Washington to talk to them, but here. And we need to be listened to a little bit more. So I want to talk about the elections because, like it or not, our president will be opening up the discussion again because talking about the probable stolen election, whether you like that term or not, has been shut down many, many times by people that are supposed to represent us. Founding Fathers wanted the elections in the precinct by the precinct people, not by an appointed person running the show. People like me in the precinct, my precinct, not her, me and my people in my precinct. Shake your head, Mr. Rogers. That's the deal. Shake your head all you want. That's the problem with this country. Factions. Factions are what the government, the Founding Fathers were against, because it creates problems. Yes, you can say I'm a faction. I'm a constitutionalist. Shake your head. That's one of the problems. But we can disagree, yes. However, it's not really your job to disagree publicly. We should be welcomed at the podium. This is our podium, not yours, okay? Thank you. But anyway, I want to comment also about Mary Ann's comments last week about our friends in Minneapolis. Our friends
Let's
in
keep
Minneapolis.
it to the Election Commission, Larry.
Excuse me.
That's the topic right now.
That was an insurrection, sir. That was a faction of people, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
But that should not have been said. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Others?
Hello, Mary Lee Moulton, representing the League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha. We just want to welcome Commissioner Jensen and say that we're very heartened by her pledge to continue the transparency for which this office is known for. Welcome.
Thank you. Any others from the public? If not, we'll go ahead and conclude this presentation. And thank you so much again to you and your team for coming down today.
Thank you.
Look forward to working with you. Oh, is Jake here? Yeah, he is. Quick picture, Danielle. Mhm. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, we're going to proceed on our agenda here to Section 8, Committees. Under Finance, we have Budget Report as presented. And under HR, we have our weekly personnel report from Civil Service also as presented. Quick side note that there is a Finance Committee meeting at 1 p.m. today in the afternoon. We do have a need for executive session today for the purposes of contract negotiation, litigation, and legal advice. Anything else? What? And labor negotiations as well. So those 4 items. Do I have motion second? Motion to go into exec by Friend and second by Morgan. Let's vote on that quick.
Commissioner Borgeson. Yes. Commissioner Fahey. Yes. Commissioner Friend. Yes. Commissioner Morgan. Yes. Commissioner Rogers. Yes. Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. The board will now go into executive session for the purposes of contract negotiation, litigation, legal advice, and labor negotiations.
Motion to reconvene and adjourn by Commissioner Morgan, second by Commissioner Fahey. Motion passes 5-0. Commissioner Rogers was absent. The meeting adjourned at 11:09 a.m.